Are there any English people in the audience? Oh, awesome. Well, I believe in doing a demographically representative set, which is why I'll only speak English now and then forever hold my peace. Don't be nervous about this whole Afrikaner Dutch thing. The Afrikaans thing, it's typical at gigs. You know, you heard with that one song, the Afrikaners, they were clapping. Afrikaans people like to clap at gigs. And it's strange because English South Africans are very different. The Afrikaans South Africans, you know, they clap at gigs. The English South Africans at gigs, they're like. But have you seen Afrikaans people in church? They're like. And in South Africa, the English people in church are like. Of course, it's all good. As long as you get your spirituality and your fun in there somewhere. Now, Afrikaans is a very simple language. It's very easy to learn, and it will increase your IQ by 5 points if you actually learn to speak it. The grammar is exceedingly simple. The grammar is from Indonesian. You see, what happened was when the Dutch came to the Cape in 1652, they brought slaves from Indonesia, and the slaves they have this very simple grammar, and they spoke Dutch in their way. And the Dutch, instead of teaching the Indonesians how to speak proper Dutch, they started speaking like the Indonesians. So, which is why when the English came to the Cape, they called Afrikaans kitchen Dutch, because it was the Dutch spoken in the kitchens. And for instance, in Indonesian, she is, he is, you is. I is, we is, they is, everybody is, and that's all like that. Nice and simple. Also, Afrikaans, you know, the English language is the language with the biggest vocabulary of any language in the world. And the English Oxford Dictionary is this thick. The Afrikaans Dictionary, Handwoordeboek van die Afrikaanse taal, is this thick. That's because we use thicker paper. Because in reality, in Afrikaans, we have about 30 words, and then we just combine them to make new words. You know, the English and the Dutch, they have a new word for everything. You know, they'll go like psychologist. Afrikaans person goes, "Dis mos 'n kopdokter." You know? Or the Dutch will say that schmink, you know, makeup. In Afrikaans, dis mooi maak goed. Mooi maak goed. Or the English would say, you know, the Dutch say metro or the tube or the underground. In Afrikaans, it's a mall train. So it's a very logical language. Also, in Dutch, it's very difficult to say I love you for an Afrikaans person in Dutch. Because in Afrikaans, if you say I like you, you say ek hou van jou. If you say I love you, then you say ek het jou lief. Or you say ek bemin jou. And I had a Dutch girlfriend once. For 2 weeks. And what happened was, 2 weeks into the relationship, we sat on the beach in Scheveningen, looking out over the sea, scratching sand out of our ears, and other places. And I said, but I meant it in Afrikaans, and I said, weet jy, ek hou van jou. And she was like, dis 'n bietjie vroeg, hè? And I'm like, isn't that a bit soon? You don't think we should wait a couple of months before you come with all this lovey-dovey stuff? So, and also the Dutch say heel feel. In Afrikaans we say baie. Now baie comes from the Indonesian word banyak, and it means heel feel. So I also miss that word in Dutch. But Afrikaans is a very logical language. For instance, in English, when it's very cold, what do? You buy a coat. So, in Afrikaans, when it's very cold, logically that's what you say, buy a coat. We have a lot of idioms in Afrikaans. If you want to show your appreciation to an Afrikaans person, you can buy him a donkey. Buy a donkey. But we have a lot of idioms in Afrikaans, and often they don't really make sense. You know, we say things like, you go fetch the baboon behind the mountain. You Bobbejaan achter die berg gaan, or something I think the Dutch have in common with us, the bullet is through the church. Which brings me to another Afrikaans saying, Afrikaners is plesierig. And You know why that is? Because with all these idioms, you know when you don't understand a person, you usually go, you just laugh and smile and nod your head. And Afrikaners, most of the time, with all these idioms, they don't understand each other, so they just go, of course we're going to fix the baboon behind the mountain and then the bullets through the church. It fell through the carpet. This following saying has to do with that phase in a relationship when you get too comfortable en je laat de grote dingen misgaan, ach de klein dingetjes misgaan en ze worden grote problemen. Klein klein jakkalsies krapen, die klein klein jakkalsies maak dat ek in my stoel rond die hoeles de toe van hier voel. Klein klein jakkalsies krapen, die klein klein jakkalsies maak dat ek heel dag sit en morgen top zelfs mijn vrienden raak nou aan raad hoofd. En die begin was als pikfijn. Was ek jou door en jy my rotsie en ons samen die maan skyn, maar toe die nuchter oggend weer. Kom ons achter dat roze verlep en door en seer gaan steek en die klein klein jakkalsies kraap en die klein klein jakkalsies maak dat ek in my stoel rond die hoeles de toebroek van dieren voel. Klein klein jakkalsies kraap en die klein klein jakkalsies maak dat ek heel dag sit en morgen tot zelfs mijn vrienden raak nou aan raad. Als dingetjies krappen irriteer, zet ik op dokter daar scheel, buiten dit wat jij sien zoveel meer. Hij zei het zal helpen als ons twee praat. Maar zodra die tongen loskom, raak ons weer van mekaar kwaad. Wat helpen dan, wat helpen dan? Klein klein jakkalsies krapen, die klein klein jakkalsies maak dat ek in my stoel rond die hoeles de toebroek van mieren voel. Klein klein jakkalsies krapen, die klein klein jakkalsies maak dat ek heel dag sit en morgen tot zelfs mijn vrienden raak nou wel dat om. Als je daar komt 3 jaar groot. En als een mens het net voorbij kan komen, staan je daar nog altijd aan diezelfde kant. Maar wat gemaakt met de 6 week pijn. Dus moest eens maar wat verdwijnen op voor die ochtendzon gaan schijnen. En die klein klein jakkalsies kraap en die klein klein jakkalsies maak dat ek in my stoel rond die hoeles de toebroek van dieren voel. Klein klein jakkalsies